my entire life to black people, to immigrants, to brown people, to women. We need to stop taking a back seat. Men should not be expected to fix everybody else's problems while you are compounding the problems for us. White people should not be forced or obligated to fight for your rights while you're blaming us for all your problems. Why the fuck would I stick up for black people's rights when black people ain't sticking up for homeless rights? We need to work together on this. We got too much of this slander going on and too many excuses to do absolutely nothing. I'm not angry at anybody who doesn't deserve it. I'm angry at people because I don't have the resources to take care of myself. I can't afford to waste resources on you to not keep your fucking word. You were there for the incident. You should have come forward about it then and fucking there. I always tried. I also did what you're supposed to do. Never make a call alone. But nobody cared enough to make the calls with me, so. And you guys want to jump across the timeline, right? You want to go, oh, well, Molly went in and helped you in trying to turn that shit in Chapel, Nebraska. When did she do that? She did that in June of 2018. And she didn't know shit about the situation because unlike Kayla Trujillo, Molly Smith until that point hadn't been a part of the situation. Unlike Brandon Ratner, who never tried, but was a part of the situation. Unlike Veronica Randall, who never tried, but was a part of the situation. Unlike Brenda Dickinson, who never tried, but was a part of the situation. Unlike Laura Nelson, who never tried, but was a part of the situation. A lot of these people like to throw in my face, well, I did this and I did that. I did too help, Sean. No, you didn't. The cops said that you didn't help. They victimized me by saying that you didn't help. That I wasn't trying to get help. And you let the police get away with it. If the police say you didn't help and you're not willing to step forward and admit that that's a goddamn lie, then they must have told the truth and you must have lied to me. See, that's the thing about recording Brandon Ratner claiming that he went to the police. The police said that nobody would help me. There were people who were trying. The police were cutting me off from getting their help. The Bollingers and their cronies were cutting me off from getting their help. You want me to feel sorry for you because you are a coward. Well, that's not going to work. I don't feel sorry for cowards. Cowards deserve it. Here's the thing about a coward. A coward can be a nice person. But there's a big difference. A huge difference between being a nice person and being... You know, as long as I don't stay parked in an area for too long, I don't get too much problems. But I gotta keep on moving. If I stay in a parking lot for too long, they go, oh, well, you're You've been here too long. You're not allowed to park here. You're stayed here overnight. Shit, I wish I had a place that I could stay. You know what? If I had a place where I could stay and work on the things that I need to, that's where I'd be. In Chapel, Nebraska, I did the best that I could with the resources that I had. When I was finally able to get housing, I did the best that I could. But right now, I'm dealing with a lot of really major issues, like a lot of people disappearing and a lot of people dying. A lot of the folks who said that they would help me, it's not their fault that people did horrible shit. It's their fault that those people got away with it. I'm not angry at these people for what other folks did. I'm angry at them in specific and by name for what they in specific did. I am mad at Alicia Bollinger for what Alicia Bollinger did. I'm not mad at her for what other people did. She didn't make her dad do the horrible things that he did. She didn't make Tim Beeson do the horrible things that he did. Those things are not her fault. The fact that they harmed me over things that she and her sister said, knowing that those things were untrue, and they never came forward about it, knowing I was being victimized, knowing I was being abused. Yeah, that's entirely their fault. That's entirely their choice to allow it to continue. When you've got an innocent person being abused for shit that they didn't do, and people are accusing them of doing those things to you, and you know that person didn't do those things to you, maybe you should speak up instead of playing victim. Junior! Junior!
I guess he's going with you now.
Oh, I would take him. I so would.
Oh, this thing's got a 5-speed in
Yeah.
it? Badass.
It's actually a good car, except that I got a tractor battery in it, and my air filter is a sock.
What year is this thing?
94.
Really?
Yeah.
I had you might have seen it around town. It was a 96 Honda Civic sedan. It was all black. It's pretty cool. The exhaust tip was about that big.
Yeah, mine sounds like a race car. I thought I was going to get pulled over on the way here because in between, well, at first I couldn't get it to go into first, and then I couldn't get it to go to first into second, so I had to try to go first, second, into third. Well, when I tried to go into first and pop it into third, it was just over-revving, and I couldn't get it to come out of the over-rev. But that has to do with the fact that I'm a shitty driver. You know, I'm not real good with the clutch work. And this is, out of all the vehicles I've ever owned with a clutch, this one has a temperamental, I'm not sure what I'm doing clutch.
Yeah.
So sometimes I let it off slowly and it'll work, and sometimes I let it off slowly and it'll like hit a point where it just pops and dies. And that just started like in the last 3 weeks or so. What's that tattoo for?
This one?
Yeah.
Just something that I kind of liked. When I was in jail, there was this guy that had two of these kind of birds. I guess they're called swallows.
Yep. For ocean crossings.
Yeah, there's one right here, and then one on his other shoulder. And ever since I saw those, I just liked the look of the bird, so I wanted to get it. And I wanted to get it tattooed on my hand, so I just put that on there.
It's one of those birds for crossing the Atlantic, and one of them's for crossing the Pacific, I believe. But yeah, for sailors, all those tattoos, it's kind of like prison tattoos. They all mean something.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got your dog back.
Yeah.
Did they make you pay money?
Yeah, I paid $55 to get him out, and then I didn't have any proof of his rabies shots, so they just set up an appointment for me. and it was on one of the people that works there's credit, so it was free. So it's $55 to get him out, and then the shot's free.
You know how to get his shots, right? Like where to give them?
Well, I don't have to do it myself. I'm taking him to a little clinic out in Cloverdale.
Oh, that gets you the paperwork and the signature. When I was in chapel, we just administered it ourselves. Yeah, put it in the triangle in the neck, right here.
Like right here.
Yep.
But
here. Yep. Right there. Right here.
yeah, they're gonna give me the tag and everything when I go over there. So I still have it in case something like that happens again. But
Yeah.
I'm just starting to take him everywhere with me now, so there's no chance that happens.
Well, that also helps you get more accustomed to being with you, and then you'll want to stick around a little more.
Yeah.
Although Lola definitely wanted to go check out that pole over there. There was something about that pole that she's like, there's something over there for me. I know it, I know it, I know it.
Yeah, I was thinking about just kind of driving around with him more and then kind of walking around town a little bit with him. That way he gets a little more acquainted with the town, so he knows kind of where he's at if he does.
Get him trained in between work time and play time.
Yeah. Right now he's kind of like, he knows playtime and bedtime. So he needs kind of a little more structure, I guess.
Yeah. That's one thing about training kids and dogs, it's about consistency. If the rules change, the dog gets confused.
Yeah.
That's one thing about people who get a service animal that's already trained and they get it, but they don't know nothing about dogs.
They just messes with him.
They just mess with the dog, yeah. And then it's the dog's fault in their mind.
Yeah.
My dog's stupid. Why did I get a retarded dog? Why did they train a retarded dog?
But in reality, the dog just doesn't know what they're asking.
Yeah, in reality, the dog doesn't know that, you know, some days at 5 o'clock you want to be left alone, and some days at 9 o'clock you want to be left alone.
Yeah.
And some days it's okay to walk into the kitchen, and some days it's not okay to walk into the kitchen. And some days you beat the dog for not going into the kitchen because you want the dog in the kitchen, but then the next day you're beating the dog for going into the kitchen. And the dog's going, I just know I'm getting a beating. I don't know what to do. If I don't do anything, maybe I won't get in trouble. And then you beat them for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Not you, obviously.
Well, just in general. Like,
yeah, my sister had that problem. She thought if she beat on her dog enough, her dog would be able to read her mind when she wanted something.
It's not going to happen no matter how much you beat him.
Right, and my sister learned that. Like, my sister is a lot better with dogs. Her dog, the last one that she had, was very well trained and very sociable and also not beaten.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to hit her dog to get it to stop.
Yeah. Also, I got a buddy who works on that side of town. He gets a bunch of like shoes, kind of like those from Nike, and he doesn't wear all of them. So if you want, or if you need another pair of shoes, I can probably get you another pair.
I think that's where this pair came from. Dallas gave me these.
Yeah, no, he gave me those, and I put them in Dallas to pick up because I'm always wearing stuff like this, you know.
Yeah.
So I never would wear them, and they were in his toolbox. But if you need more shoes, I can probably get you some.
If you bring me shoes my size, I'll wear them. If you bring shoes that ain't my size, I'll hand them out.
What size shoe do you wear?
9 wide. So I can wear 10 regular and 11 regular. Yeah. It's weird because like it's 9 wide, but you'd expect me to have a wide back of my foot and the wide front. But no, I got duck feet. When I take my feet out and I put them on the ground, they're actually about that wide. But my heel is loose. I can slip 2 fingers in there, no problem, you know?
That's kind of funny. These are 9s. But I just bought these so you get them.
Right? Good.
But yeah, I'll try and find some more shoes for you.
Badass. I'll wear them. I mean, these right here, they're lasting a while longer than I thought that they would already. I've had them about 3 weeks now, and they're not falling apart.
Right, that's what counts, right?
Yeah.
I've always had pretty good luck with Nikes, like not falling apart or anything.
I'm half tempted to punk somebody for a cigarette right now.
And if I had one, I'd give it to you.
That's alright. I think I have some snipes here I can roll into a cigarette. Oh, I better shut off the vehicle anyway, because when I'm talking to people, I'll talk forever, or they'll get to talking, and then, of course, I'm running low on gas, so I gotta try to come up with more of that. What's up, Junior? What are you whining for?
You might be hungry.
You might be. Well, be safe. He was one of the people there for the Molly situation, too. A lot of people were. Now, currently, he's got something going on. I was already aware of that. So it's not like I can say, hey, man, you, right now, let's go do this. Sure would be nice, though, wouldn't it? Be all bossy, get what I want. Get what I want. Well, at least I have rolling papers. I run around and I find the snipes and then I roll them into a cigarette. However, I've been here long enough, I should probably migrate over to another parking lot. Oh, there it is. No, there it was. Oh well. Like I said, as far as those people being bad people, you know, there's a big difference between being a bad person and being a good person, obviously. There's a big difference between being a nice person and a good person, too. You can be nice and be a good person. You can be nice and be a bad person. You can also be an asshole and be a good person. Somebody rapes your daughter? Well, being an asshole because people won't fucking listen and won't do anything about it, that might be necessary. Now, the Bible's got some weird notions in it. Like, of course, you know, the stories from Sodom and Gomorrah. That guy goes through, he's traveling, and the people in the town, the men, want to rape the man. So what does this homeowner do? He covers up his daughters and his maidservants. And that's considered a good man in God's day, or in Jesus' day. All those wicked men wanted to rape some man. And apparently a good man in that situation, according to the Bible, would prostitute out his daughters and his servants. That doesn't sound like a good man to me. That's why when people tell me they're Christians, I always think to myself, are you sure you read the book? Of course, there's a big difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament, isn't there? Which one's my favorite? The New Testament. Although it is pretty obvious that the first part of the book heavily favors women as property and slaves, whereas Jesus tended to believe that women were people too. Of course, that's not what the church sold. That's not what the Protestant churches sell. Now that Eileen lady, she's a mandated reporter, right? And of course, it's recorded on my channel when I asked her about that. She said that she had to go ask the dean. So she's not trained. She's not a trained mandated reporter, so she doesn't know what it is that she's supposed to report. She has to ask someone else. So by her being a mandated reporter who is untrained, well, she could literally go to prison for that. Here in Oregon, it's one of the few states where it's only a $2,000 fine, and there's no jail time to go along with that mandated reporter thing. But here's the thing, it can get habitual. When it becomes habitual, like it has, especially against an at-risk adult, which it is, it becomes a felony. Hopefully, if I don't drive my car a little bit, whatever it is I did to fuck it up will cool down and be in a better mood. Oh my God, you better not.
It's fucking hilarious.
I was bitching at my YouTube channel about how there was over a dozen witnesses with that last situation with, well, all right, that wasn't actually the last situation with Molly. I ended up having 6 more after that. But none of them folks helped me to turn it in. At least I, like your mom going in to help me with the department of whatever it is. But then when they asked me to go back, it was like having to start over because your mom wasn't there.
Yeah.
So when I went in, it was a different lady and she didn't know what was going on. And I'm like, I'm being told by all these different places to go to you guys to turn this in. And then I come here with somebody else and I'm told to go somewhere else. And like your mom is a witness to it. But then the other thing is that even with her being a witness to it, the fact is they told us to go to somewhere else. And you know, for me to be able to go to that somewhere else, I got to find somebody to go in, which means I got to make the time to go do that with your mom, which she said that she would. But then the only way I had to get a hold of her was your dad's number, and his dad was doing the fucking uploading thing. Oh my God, it's driving me nuts. And then I'm fucking completely frustrated at the situation. I am pissed off. I am fucking ranting. I am raving. I am not fucking happy. But then people are like, why are you blaming these people? Like, what the fuck am I blaming them for? I'm saying what the situation is. And yes, I'm pissed off about the situation. That's not saying they're evil.
Right.
I can be frustrated with people. I can be frustrated with you. I can be frustrated with Scott. I can be frustrated with things that are entirely not your faults that are happening. Right. And I can still like you while I'm frustrated.
Right. Oh, I get you.
Oh, fuck. Well, I was going to come over and harass Caleb to try to pick his brain about the situation with Molly. Oh my God, the stuff he told me last time was at least useful information.
No, I'm on the later shift today, so I got like half an hour till I clock in.
Oh, good. If I had room in my car, I'd let you sit with me, because it's warm in there.
I'm not too worried. I don't get cold very easily.
Well, yeah, that's because you still got your winter padding on.
I got it year round.
I lost my padding in Q9, I think. It melted away. I started running. Alright, I'll hide behind you. You're good.
Well, the thing is, for the most part, it's actually not padding. So my legs are solid muscle. Even like the pectoral muscles that look like man boobs, they're solid.
But you don't have a belly to go with it. All right, sort of.
The belly's there.
I mean, it's not sue-me.
No, but it's pretty much solid there too. But like it's the fact that I have a very high core body temperature, so I can jump into snow in nothing but a pair of shorts.
That's the fattest I've been in years.
Yeah, but I can jump into a snowbank in nothing but a pair of shorts. But anything over 70, 80 degrees, and I'm liable to get heat exhaustion, nosebleed, stuff like that, because my body doesn't regulate that temperature. So my body runs hot year round. So when it starts getting like 70, 80, 90 degrees, I have to really watch it, because I will end up not being able to talk and starting to throw up. And oh yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I was talking about is how, like with your anxieties and also with your brother's allergies, those are things that do affect the situation. Like you were talking about helping me this weekend, but only if you're not feeling sick. You know?
Oh, I ended up in bed all weekend.
You know, obviously it's not my fault that you get sick, but then when I have to try to explain this stuff in court, that hey, I've been trying to run this stuff in. People get sick. People have families. People have all this stuff that's going on.
Right.
And the biggest problem is that those people never show up to court to explain that those things were going on. I get treated like I made it up.
Right.
And being as my predators are the police in this situation.
Yeah.
I mean, Molly wasn't the only one who broke the law through this. And the fact that I had to come to it because of abuse by police elsewhere. Abuse.
Yeah.
Being fucking drugged in Hood River was bullshit.
I was just watching one the other day. These kids were, just riding their bikes, and this off-duty officer shows up and pulls his gun on these kids.
There was a 14-year-old girl at the Safeway. It's recorded on my YouTube channel. The officer got out of his vehicle, and you see him run over to her. He doesn't say a word the whole time. Doesn't say a word. He gets out. He parks his vehicle. He gets out. He runs over. He fucking grabs her by her arm, by the fucking back of her hoodie, and he takes a running start with her into the side of this fucking sheriff's vehicle. It's recorded on my YouTube channel, the whole thing. And then, of course, there was a police officer there who showed up after the fact, and I tried explaining to him what was going on. They told me I had to turn it into the Department of Records. And it's recorded on my YouTube channel. The problem is I need help turning it in, or they pretend it doesn't exist.
Right.
If I go in alone, these people committed felonies against me. These officers did. So for going alone, it's like saying, hey, please press false charges on me, please victimize me, and please fuck me up the ass with no lube.
Right.
So then I'm frustrated because you get sick. I'm frustrated because people keep fucking with Scott at work. He's got allergies. They know he's got allergies.
Oh, yeah.
Why do they keep fucking with him?
Yeah.
They could literally fucking kill him.
Yeah.
So I'm frustrated with the situation and slightly frustrated with Scott. But I'm even more frustrated at people I don't even fucking know because they keep fucking with him.
Yeah.
How is he going to be able to help me if he's fucking sick?
Yeah.
They keep doing this rotary shit.
Well, and he won't tell me who the person is. Because he knows for a fact that I don't put up with that shit. He won't tell me because he knows for a fact as soon as I find out, motherfuckers ending up in the goddamn fucking hospital.
Maybe that's everybody's solution. If he told me who it is, I'd help turn it in. That's attempted murder at this point.
Yeah.
Literally. That his allergies could kill him.
Growing up, when Scotty got, basically, we had a guy that was bigger than me, and at the time, Scotty was smaller than me. When we were at wrestling practice, this kid was taking Scotty's leg and hoisting it up above his own head, basically wrenching on Scotty's groin. I stood up, I blacked out. It was the first time I ever blacked out, but it took Dad, a 300-pound high schooler, and another father that was there to hold me back from killing a kid who was twice my size. Because you don't fuck with my brother. And people know, if I get pissed, I'm gonna get pissed, especially when you fuck with my family.
Well, see, that's the thing. People fuck with my family, and nobody cares because it's not happening to them. Then when my predators threaten them and their families, they came after me for it. Treated me like I was a horrible monster because my predators... Like the frustration of your family situation. It's not that you guys are bad people. It's that this is a fucked up situation, and it's even more fucked up that I have to go to broke people. Is overwhelmed with you guys. It's a big family.
Yeah.
For me needing help and her trying to help me, and then all of the shit that's going on. My channel about the situation and how frustrated I am. How if people don't look at the evidence, they're not going to understand. And if they don't understand what the murder is, then the part where I really need your help because I can't get any of the electronic stuff to work without
Yeah.
somebody's help. And that keeps me from being able to show Layla no teeth. Plus, I'm frustrated and I'm freezing.
No, I feel you.
But so it's a hurry up and wait thing, but then it's also a thing where even though I need the help, I don't want you feeling like you're a bad person because you get sick. But then if I'm victimized 5 more times while you're sick, I'm obviously going to be frustrated about the situation and be venting. And then I go to YouTube just because there are so many people that claim that they were my friends, told me that these things happened, claimed that they were being threatened and their kids were threatened. And then when it comes time to fucking speak up, they're like, oh, I can't. And for years of this.
Yeah.
And obviously, this should have stopped when I was in Virginia. Instead, it proceeded to Colorado and Nebraska and South Dakota. And then Natalie ended up dead. And then it's been everywhere I go since then. Here in Tillamook, I've only had a few people that recognized me from being web sleuths. And thankfully, the people who recognized me while I was in line talking to you. That kind of makes it helpful. And also, one of the bosses here who had a slight attitude with me just once saw me talking to Caleb and saw me talking to you. And he came up and he said, I'm sorry, I didn't realize what was going on. And then he left. He just turned around and walked away.
Yeah.
But, obviously he was heartfelt. He did feel bad for what he did. He was also feeling very much demasculated by apologizing, and he wanted to get the hell out.
Right.
I don't feel demasculated when I apologize. Kind of
No.
like, I told people I don't want my penis. I use it for peeing. I'm not interested in sex. If you pay to have it removed, I'm fine with that.
Right.
I'll go in and have the surgery. If I have a surgery to have all of my equipment removed, and when somebody tries to pretend that all this fucked up shit is happening because I couldn't take no for an answer from somebody that I had to have her vagina, you're like, what am I gonna fuck with?
Yeah.
You got like 10 more minutes.
Roughly. Yeah.
I would find a way to get the hell away from me. I'm a scary fella. I'm bigger than you are.
I'm bigger than you. I'm higher up on the food chain. Get in my belly.
Get in my belly. That's right. That's right. I'm a bastard who's fat.
Literally, it was hilarious. So
My name is vagina.
Yeah. Someone on the bus said that I looked that I looked scary, and I'm like, they're like, do you ever have nightmares? And I'm like, no. How do I have nightmares when I have a face like that?
You are a pretty boy. I'll give you that.
But the thing is
How do you have nightmares when everything in your dreams is scared of you? Like my predators are scared shitless of me. They're so scared shitless that they'll go to prison that they pretend like I threatened to kill them. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? But then since they got, it's law enforcement and fucking people who work for law enforcement, it's basically, their word versus mine, no matter how much evidence I have. They just say he's schizophrenic. And I'm like, I know people who are schizophrenic.
Yeah.
I think it's horrible to treat a schizophrenic person like that when they try to turn in abuse. It's fucking horrible when you do it to somebody who's not.
right.
And I got the evidence from a lady who is obviously a professional, and if she thought that I was schizophrenic, it takes 4 to 6 months to diagnose somebody with schizophrenia.
Yeah.
She's the only person that I saw long enough to do that. And at the end of it, what did she say? It's loud and proud. I've got the conversation and the paperwork says I'm not schizophrenic. I do have PTSD. I am not delusional. I am not psychotic. I am not bipolar. I am autistic.
Yeah.
Everything that I said from the start, it only took me 3 years to get somebody to verify it because the cops committing all the crimes against me, it costs a lot of money to be falsely accused.
Right.
Plus, with them painting me as some super psycho serial killer rapist, I'm like, what the fuck? You want to pretend that after exposing me like that for things that I didn't do, that people are going to be nice and friendly? No. The people who watch those channels, they hear that slander, they assume it's true, and then they hate me. And then I run into people like you who are nice and pleasant, and I'm like, here's what's going on. I'm sorry my life isn't perfect. Will you help me?
My life is never perfect. I mean, the way that I put it to most people is I'm not supposed to be here. I was born blue, not breathing. I had swallowed so much of the gel because I was 2 weeks late that I had drowned. Like I was dead. I was dead on birth, and my birth certificate is ironic because it says certificate of live birth, but technically I was dead. Everything from day one has been ironic. I have scuba diver lungs. I have a very large lung capacity. I got 2 different types of asthma, so half the time my lungs don't work. I grew up in a hunting family. I spent my entire life eating nothing but red meat and red sauce and stuff like that.
You got a gallbladder issue?
No, I have Crohn's disease.
Oh, God.
With Crohn's, I can't have red meat, can't have red sauce.
And see, that's one of the things, like, all right, your dad probably could have gone in with me the first or second day. Hunting is, for me, being from a hunting community, especially where most of the people in that hunting community, you got 2 different types of hunters. You got the trophy hunters. These are people who got lots of money, they got big vehicles, they'll go out on an ATV that's loud as shit and complain at everybody else there that they're being too loud. And then you got the ones who are like, all right, I can't feed myself and my 3 kids and my wife for the winter on fucking what I make, but I can spend $35 on a deer tag, and I already got the rifle.
Yep.
So I mean, shit, it's easy.
That's how we've been since I was a kid.
But then when you don't get it the first day or the second day, the whole time your dad's coming back and he's giving me updates every day, he's going out hunting. I'm like, all right, he's gonna help me as soon as hunting season is over. As soon as hunting season is over, as soon as he gets his deer, as soon as he gets his deer, I hope he gets his deer, I hope he gets his deer. And then he says, I went out with my friend, and I was waiting. I figured I'd let him get one first, and he fucked it up. So the next time he fucked it up again. So the next time he fucked it up again. I'm like, so because this guy doesn't know how to draw, how to catch, and how to drop it, I'm willing to bet the guy probably doesn't know how to field strip his rifle, and I'm willing to bet he doesn't know how to clean his game either. But that
So I know the guy I know the guy that he was taking out, one of the guys he was taking out, knows how to take apart his gun and put it back together. He cleans guns for a living. But the thing is cleaning a gun and shooting a gun is 2 different things.
Yes, and knowing when to pull the trigger, because like as soon as you start feeling the snap, you need to finish.
Yeah.
Because that thing is going to hear the snap before you get it pulled.
Well, even when I was hunting, like I dropped a 6 foot 500-pound sow. She was 14 years old. I literally saw her running. She was running away from the car. She's 60 yards from me. I stayed 3 steps behind her as I'm running down the road. I crowned myself with the scope that I had on my rifle. But
dummy Mark.
But the thing is the shot that I shot hit the rock face behind her and bounced directly into the heart. Like there was no exit route because the bullet was still in the heart. But the hole where the bullet came in was on the far side.
Yeah. See, that's a much better story than a lot of the ones I've had. I got a lot of my friends come back from hunting after killing somebody that they went hunting with, and those are definitely sad stories. So when it's a ricochet that gets you your dinner anyway, that's a good story.
Yeah. Well, so the funny part is after that hunting trip, I have never hunted, when I was still hunting, I never hunted with a scope after that. Which I didn't need to.
On an open sight.
I have a 300 Savage. It was my great-grandfather's.
Oh.
It was my great-grandfather. So it's a 300 Savage golden sight. So it's got, gold on the ball tip. I would use that. I hit a bobcat 200 yards downhill open sight.
That's pretty damn good.
And nailed it in the fucking heart. In a clearing, literally, from that post wide, 200 yards downhill.
And see, if you got a good rifle, that's excellent. Like if you've got an AK-47, me and my friend Chris, he had a Romanian AK and I had Yugoslavian SKS. So when we go shooting, he would shoot for the Mountain Dew bottles and I would shoot for the caps.
Yeah.
Now that's at only 100 yards.
Yeah.
At 200 yards, I would probably only hit the cap out of every 5 to 8 shots. At only 100 yards over the sights, I could hit it, at least graze it almost every shot.
Yeah.
And I'd hit it at least 2 out of 3 shots. It was a good shot.
Yeah.
And, for you using a Savage, the only way to upgrade from that is get a Remington Model 700. And then, oh my God, there's nothing going to stop you.
Yeah. Well, so the funny part was, so that same rifle, I was deer hunting that next year. And I went and I shot at this deer because it was standing on the side of the road. I shot at it. It didn't move. Like, it was standing still. There was no movement.
So you got it perfect.
I was like, what the hell? So I went and loaded up another shot, and it dropped. Turns out the first shot literally hit it so good that it was dead, standing there.
Yup. That's a perfect heart shot. A lot of times when people are shooting for the center mass, they'll graze the heart or they'll hit a ventricle. They'll hit the lungs for sure, but most of the time, a good heart shot is hard to get.
Oh, yeah, and that was at 100 yards open sight. Perfect shot in the heart. It literally could not move.
Most people between here, all right, you see between here and that closest truck right there?
Yeah.
Most people open sights just because lack of practice. If they were looking for the circle inside of 9 there, you see how big that is. I mean, it's probably a good 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
Most people couldn't hit that open sight.
No, but I was trained by my grandfather and my dad, and my grandfather was a Marine drill sergeant. He was
Breathe.
So that was one of those things where I grew up learning how to shoot shots that most people would consider almost impossible.
The Marine Corps Scout sniper that was telling me how to shoot, I also shot him with his own rifle because he'd never shot it without a scope.
Right.
But, all of my practice was with a scope, and he told me, all right, what you want to do in order to exhaust your breathing, you want to take a few deep breaths, and then you want to exhale a little bit, and right as you're getting ready to pull the trigger, you hold your breath, because that'll stop everything and keep it from wobbling.
Yep.
Well, me, instead, what I do is I'll take a deep breath, and then as I squeeze the trigger, I exhale the entire time. That way, if it's a higher caliber rifle, I don't end up with the ear shock.
Yep.
Jaw shock. Yep. And I'm pretty good that way. But, one of the other things is after having a protection order, I'm not supposed to own firearms. But I know keeps putting guns in my hands.
Right.
I'm allowed to go shoot as long as it's supervised and all that. The other thing is I never should have had a protection order against me. I was the victim.
But
Matter of fact, I'm still victimized over right now. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say the one rifle I want to get. It's a pistol. It is a 450 long barrel.
I don't even know what that is.
So it's a pistol. The barrel on it's about and it shoots rifle rounds.
The elephant rounds.
Uh-huh.
I know that it's not the 500.
So it's there was the 450 Magnum, which was my dad had one. It was a hunting rifle, but it would shoot 450 grain bullets. So that 450 grain bullet would go into this pistol. So you could literally hit a guy 3 houses down and kill him.
So it's like Taurus's first real famous pistol, the Judge.
Pretty much.
They got the 454 Marlin round that I've seen some handguns that fire that, and I've seen a couple of them that fire the 30 caliber carbine. Can I talk you out of one of them cancers?
Yeah.
All right.
You're good, of course.
I'm gonna get back to bitching now. Yes, sir. Anyway, explaining to people my frustrations, I don't keep secrets from them. Well, if they won't hear it, that's their choice. Not my decision. If you don't want to hear what I'm telling you, you don't get to pretend that I'm keeping secrets from you. You're not listening. You're too busy talking. Now, with him, of course, being in Nebraska and not growing up in a hunting family, but Nebraska, everybody else is. David Nelson, he's a hunter. Mr. Wright, another hunter. Dallas doesn't hunt. He's got a rifle for in case of emergencies or in case he needs to blow his brains out. So Dallas does have a rifle. It's a .303 British Enfield. He doesn't have the bolt for it. He can't remember where he put it. Which is fine by me. He's like, well, you know, I took the bolt out because I was kind of afraid you'd kill yourself with it. And also I was thinking about killing myself with it. And I was like, well, hopefully you don't need it anytime soon. Anyway, for me being frustrated at the situation, I can be frustrated at the situation without hating you. I can be angry at you for things that you did and decisions that you made. But you also get to see through all of this, I try to be patient with people. I try to understand the value of what they're doing and how important their families are. Jared loves his family. Scott loves his family. Jason loves his family. Kara loves her family. These people love their family. They work together as a family. They look out for each other as a family. And it really makes me feel like shit to fuck any part of that up by needing help. Let me tell you how horrible of people these people are. They're not. They're not horrible people. Of course, there's a lot of people through this that were not horrible people to start. But they ended up being pretty fucking horrible. When it comes to missing people, I don't fuck around. When it comes to taking advantage of disabled people and harming disabled people, you goddamn right I do something, you goddamn right I say something. It's a felony to assault an at-risk adult, no matter where they're at. For that guy, Marcus Ibarra, who claimed that he was going to call and talk to me and he was going to help me square this shit away. The fact these people didn't do their jobs. But then he wanted to go to, I believe her name is Courtney, and she is likely one of the predators I was trying to turn in. That's one of the issues there, is that I went to the company that he works for, because that's who the hospital told me to call. And the company that he works for, although I was told to go there within 2 days, they told me they couldn't do anything until November. Meanwhile, legally what that doctor should have done is to call the police and tell them that I was poisoned. By law, that's what he was supposed to do. None of these people are following the laws because they don't have to. They only have to follow the law if it's somebody that people care about or somebody who has money. They'll let a guilty rich man walk free, even help him to do so. That rich man's victim is likely a poor person. And the cops will victimize that poor person for coming forward. When Jared gets sick, is that my fault? Is that my choice? When people are fucking with his brother, is that my fault? Is that my choice? Do these things affect me? Do they affect my ability to get help? When they have issues with their phone, I'm expected to understand. If I have issues with my phone, nobody understands. My phone must work perfectly all the time, even though you guys have phone issues. I can't. Now you also get to see Scott's not treating me like shit over it. Neither is Jared. Neither is Jason. Neither is Kara. They haven't made the time to see the stuff that will explain to them why they need to take the time. They haven't been able to make the time. When it comes to hunting for dinner, that's fucking important. When I ended up homeless, I got rid of all of my firearms. I had a real nice SKS, Monte Carlo stock, fucking smooth. That went to Big Jason Jepson. I don't know where my Browning vest pistol went. My Colt Confederate naval pistol. It was black powder. It was stolen when I was at Dennis and Dickinson's rental house in Lodgepole with Chris Stegeman. There's a good chance he sold it for meth. There's a good chance that the person he sold it to for meth was Jason Vogt. You see, that was one of those rules that Chris Stegeman didn't follow. We both agreed that Jason Vogt was not to be at the house, and then he kept inviting Jason Vogt over to the house. You guys expect me to respect your boundaries, but you don't respect mine. This is a two-way street here. You guys want to pretend like it's okay to victimize me because I spoke up. No, that's changing the timeline. Events happen in a particular order. If you're going to try to pretend that I was assaulted in 2016 for threatening Ted Bollinger in 2018, you're a special kind of stupid. Nearly all of Natalie's family who took part in the threats, harassment, and intimidation, the head games, and the gaslighting, nearly all of them pretended like I threatened to kill them. When these people do immoral things and they care about what other people think, they all do the same thing. They play victim. They don't want to get in trouble. Well, it's not my fault you're a fucking coward. It's not my fault that you're a liar. As far as Rod Wright goes, he doesn't believe in God. He has shown that loud and fucking clear. It's cute, though, that he plays along. It's cute that Laura Nelson and David Nelson, two people who were a part of this situation, who graduated to predator status. Yeah, if you help my predators get away, you and I are not friends. And I am under no obligation to keep your secrets. If you don't keep your word and there's a situation with you that actually happened, yes, you can tell the fucking police that. You can tell the courts that. When you say, I can't because my grandma died, you don't have to tell them it's because your grandma died. You could say you had to go to a funeral or you had a family issue. But when you make me record it and post it up on the internet for everybody to see, that's your fault. It is your fault that you made no effort to turn these things in with me. It is your fault that you didn't record anything. It is your fault you didn't get the officer's name. And you want to blame that on me. You want to say, oh, I tried, Sean, I tried. No, you didn't. You have zero fucking proof that you tried. Zero. I'm supposed to take your word for it. Just supposed to take your word for it. This is something I am against. I am against just taking a police officer's word for it because he's a police officer. Just because he's got a badge does not make him Jesus. So with all these people like Cara Rogers telling me she was intimidated by the police, and Dallas Richmond telling me he was intimidated by law enforcement, and many other people telling me that they were intimidated by law enforcement or by the Bollingers and their cronies. But I get treated like I'm schizophrenic because these people told me. They didn't tell the courts. Mandy Singer, if she'd have come forward about the situation with her son all the way back in 2018, 2017, shit, she could have got on there when I made that post about her missing son. And people were getting on there and fucking harassing me and calling me a stalker and pretending that because I made a missing persons post about Mandy Singer's son, that somehow I had foreknowledge of Natalie Bollinger disappearing. When did Mandy Singer finally come forward? Let's see, I made that post on what? The 28th of December? That was before Natalie was killed. 28th of December, I put up 2 posts about missing people. Neither one of them were Natalie Bollinger. But Shawnee Sinclair never came forward. She typed to me that it was fucked up and she was angry. I'm like, well, why don't you speak up? Oh yeah, because she deals things with violence. She's a female who can manipulate others into physically harming others for her. Well, that's not nice, and it's not right. There's a lot of women who I ditched off of my Facebook, and men too, before Natalie was killed. People like, well, Erica. This is somebody that Tom Nelson had sex with when she was underage, and he's older than I am. She was 16 at the time, 15. I stopped being friends with her before Natalie died because all she cared about was people's looks. She was helping to perpetuate the rape society. It isn't just men. It's just men that you blame. Just like BLM is pretending that nobody except black people could be victimized by the police. Most of those black people who are victimized by the police, just like most of the white people victimized by police, are either broke or fucking homeless, and most of them are homeless. Anyway, good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind.